Today we're making 3 meals from one Costco Rotisserie Chicken that only cost $4.99. If y'all are like me, you are getting sick and tired of paying high dollars for groceries, and we're gonna have to be creative so we can save money. Today we are using this chicken, and don't worry, we are not skimping on flavor because I have 3 really delicious recipes for you that will feed a family of 4, maybe 5. These are super yummy meals that are easy to make and will help you stretch your budget. So let's get started. If you don't have a Costco membership, don't worry, it's no big deal. We have a simple solution. Just go ahead and buy 2 rotisserie chickens from your grocery store. We're gonna go ahead and remove our chicken from the package, take all the skin off, and then you wanna use all the meat, white and dark meat for this. I'm gonna just go ahead and kind of hand pull mine, use my knife to make sure I get everything off, and then I like to give this a little bit of a chop just so everything's really nice and bite-sized. Then we're gonna separate this into 3 equal piles. Then we're gonna go ahead and put 2 of those piles in those Tupperwares, stick those in the fridge for our other recipes. We're gonna be getting started on our casserole, which is a chicken hash brown casserole. It's super delicious and really easy to make. This one comes together like all in one bowl, and it just bakes in the oven and it's ready in no time. It has a little bit of spice to it, so if you have little kids, you might wanna leave the jalapeno out so it's more edible for them. But this one is so good, so let's get started. For this casserole, we wanna start by preheating our oven to 400 degrees. I'm using a bag of Simply Potato hash browns. These are the ones that are not frozen, but you can definitely use frozen hash browns for this too. These ones are near the eggs, and I find they just taste a little bit fresher when it's cooked, so I love those. Then we've got a can of Campbell's cheddar cheese soup. If you don't have cheddar cheese soup, you could also use the cream of chicken, but I find the cheddar cheese to be really, really yummy in this recipe. We're also adding just some regular cheddar cheese to make it extra cheesy. And then for our veggies, we're gonna be chopping up an onion. And I like to just dice this, and same thing with the bell pepper. I like red bell pepper for this recipe just to add in a little bit of color because we're already using some green from the jalapeno. And then when I'm chopping the jalapeno up, I like to leave those stems and seeds and membranes really all in the actual, like all together like this, because I don't want it to be too spicy. And then I'm just gonna give these a good little mince. We also have 1 garlic clove that you just wanna mince up. And then this is gonna head into our bowl. I'm only gonna use half of the jalapenos for this because I wanna use half of them for topping. And then same thing with the cheddar cheese. I'm only using half the cheddar cheese because I want to use the other half for the top of the casserole. We also have some sour cream that we're going to add in. This just makes it so creamy and yummy. And then for spices, we're using some cumin. We have chili powder, some salt, and pepper. Then we're just going to give this a really good stir. Try not to lose any like I did. And then just stir it all up until it's completely combined. Next, we're gonna go ahead and just grease a 9x13 casserole dish. You can use vegetable oil spray or just butter like I did. And then you wanna spread this out. If there's any spots that are just hash browns, just make sure to stir them up a little bit. That always happens. There's always some at the bottom that don't get stirred. And then you wanna just go ahead and smooth this out until it's nice and flat. And then we're gonna top it with that remaining cheddar cheese and remaining jalapenos. Then we're just gonna cover it with a piece of tin foil. And we're gonna pop this in the oven for 25 minutes. Then we wanna remove the tin foil and cook it for another 10 minutes without the foil on so that top can get nice and bubbly. Once it's done, just let it cool for a few minutes and then you can slice it into squares. I like serving mine with some sour cream because it is a little bit spicy and it just cools it down a bit. This one's so yummy. How delicious did that casserole look? It is so yummy. It's kind of like my cheesy hash brown casserole, except that we're adding in some protein and more veggies so that we have a really nice balanced dinner. Next up, we're gonna make some Southwest chicken wraps. These are so easy. You don't have to do any cooking. These are great for summer because it's just gonna be served cold. You can serve it with like some chips or veggies, whatever you wanna do. These have a ton of flavor and are so delicious. Plus, they only take about 15 minutes to make, so let's get started. These rotisserie chicken wraps are super easy to whip up. We have our rotisserie chicken that we're gonna pull from the fridge. We're gonna use 4 tortillas. These are, I got these at Costco, but they're like, you probably wanna do like this size or even like the burrito size would be good, like a little bit bigger. Then we're gonna be using some crispy tortilla chips. These are so good. If you don't have these, if you don't have these tortilla strips, you could always just use like regular tortilla chips and just crush them up so you don't have to spend extra money. And then we're gonna be chopping up some onion and jalapeno. Leave the jalapeno out if you have kids and they don't like spicy. And then we've got a half a cup of cheddar cheese that we've shredded. You can use bag cheese for this recipe too, it's fine. I don't like bag cheese for recipes that we're cooking because it doesn't melt good. Then we're gonna be using some canned corn. I'm using Mexicorn for this because it has some red and green bell peppers already in it, which I like for the flavor. And then I've got some black beans that we're gonna use. I'm just using about a half a cup of corn and black beans. Last but not least, for our sauce, we have a half a cup of ranch dressing, and we're gonna be mixing it with just a teaspoon of taco seasoning. Super easy recipe, guys. We're gonna get our black beans and corn really rinsed. The biggest thing is the black beans because it has that syrup on it, so you wanna make sure that's completely rinsed off. Then you're just gonna place this on a paper towel lined plate and give it a little dab with some more paper towels to make sure everything's really nice and dry. Next up, we're gonna just mix some seasoning into our ranch dressing. This is gonna be the sauce for our wraps. So I just have 1 teaspoon of taco seasoning and I'm just mixing it into a half a cup of ranch dressing. Super easy. We're not overcomplicating this recipe at all. Just give that a good stir. It doesn't even need to be like completely combined, just the best you can. Then next up, we're just gonna add all of our ingredients into a bowl. So I'm gonna add first the chicken, which this is already shredded. If you want it smaller, you can definitely give it another chop. We're gonna do our black beans and corn, jalapeno, onion, and then we're gonna add in our cheddar cheese. Next, we're just gonna pour that sauce right over top and just give this a really good mix. I find it's just like a lot easier to add it onto the wraps when it's just all together like that. It just makes it super simple. And I'm gonna add some more tortilla strips to my bowl because I've been eating them like crazy. They're so good. These are the Southwest flavor ones, which are just ridiculously good. The seasoning's so yummy. You could also add some more ingredients to these too, like avocado would be good. Make it nice and creamy. Also, if you want more crunch, you could do lettuce or you could do some bell peppers. There's just like a lot of ingredients you could add right in here. Before we start assembling our Southwest wraps, you wanna go ahead and heat the tortillas up a little bit just so they're more pliable. I'm talking like 5 seconds in the microwave or stick them in the oven for about 5 minutes. I actually stuck mine on the Blackstone because I just use my Blackstone all the time and it's so easy. I just kept them on there for a few minutes just to warm them up and then they're just not gonna rip whenever you're folding them. It makes life so much easier. You wanna add about 3/4 of a cup to 1 cup of filling to each tortilla, and it kind of depends on how large your tortilla shell is. I'm using a large size, which is probably about 8 inches or so. And then I'm just gonna tuck the sides in and then roll the top over just like they do at Chipotle, and then tuck in the ends. And then I like to slice mine in half, like on an angle, just so it looks really pretty. These are seriously so good, and they are absolutely packed with protein, almost 30 grams per wrap. The crunchiness from the tortilla strip is like my favorite part. You could also do, if you're a saucy girl like me, you could do a little bit of sauce on the side too. So yummy. Next up, we're making a spring soup, which sounds kind of weird, but if it's not super hot where you live yet, this is a perfect thing to make, and it's really great paired with some grilled cheese sandwiches for dinner. It makes it super simple. We are making a chicken minestrone soup. It is packed with vegetables and we're adding protein. We also have a ton of beans in this recipe, so it's like a full meal. This one is so yummy, so let's get to it. For our minestrone soup, we have quite a bit of prep work because there's a ton of veggies in this recipe, which I love. We're gonna start with some celery. We have some carrot. I like to slice the carrot thin because I wanted to make sure it gets cooked all the way through the soup. We also have some onion. I'm using yellow onion for this recipe. And then we have some zucchini that I like to, when I cut zucchini, I like to cut it into like fours and then just give it a good dice so it kind of makes like triangle sizes. We also have a couple garlic cloves that we're gonna go ahead and mince up. Then we've got some spinach. You can use baby spinach here or just regular spinach, or you can use kale. We're gonna get this Dutch oven started over medium-low heat and add in a little bit of olive oil. Then go ahead and transfer the celery, carrot, onion, and zucchini over. We're gonna cook this for about 4 to 6 minutes. Add in some spices. We've got some oregano and salt and pepper. And then once it cooks for a little bit, we're gonna add in our garlic and bay leaf. You want this nice and softened before you add in the other ingredients. Then we've got some fire roasted tomatoes. We're gonna add in some kidney beans, garbanzo beans, or chickpeas. And then I bought the wrong green beans. I wanted just the regular, but I bought French, so I'm only adding in like half a can. I don't love those because they're kind of stringy. And then we're gonna go ahead and add in 2 things of chicken stock and 1 can of tomato sauce. We're gonna stir this really good and then let it simmer over low heat for about an hour. Once it simmers, go ahead and add your pasta. I'm using ditalini, or you can use orzo. We have our chicken and our spinach. Stir that in. We're gonna cook this for another 15 minutes or so until that pasta is cooked. Make sure to stir it frequently because it loves to stick to the bottom of the pot. Then we're gonna top it with some Parmesan cheese and serve it. One of the great things about this soup too is that there's a ton of leftovers. You could always freeze this and make it for another meal, or you could eat it 2 nights in a row if you wanna save money. Okay guys, I wanna know in the comments below which recipe looks the best to you. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and let me know in the comments. Comment money below if you are trying to save money at the grocery store. I would love to know if you guys are like more interested in budget-friendly recipes. So make sure to let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like and make sure to subscribe for new recipes every single week. I love sharing them with you. Thanks for being here and I'll see you next time. Bye.